In Dublin, this is Leaders Brief.
Hello and welcome to Leaders Brief, the future of search, video and measurement. I'm Sarah Byrne, a director supporting agencies and investors right here in Google EMEA.
And I'm Nihal Arthanaika. Thank you all for joining us.
This show is your chance to get an insider's perspective and leave with ideas that you can put into action.
So please get involved, take part in our polls, share your views. With experts in place to answer your burning questions directly in the comments, I will be your representative on the floor, so I want to hear your best thoughts.
Right, let's meet our industry insiders, shall we? So first up, we have Andrew Tyndall, a man who knows what makes us tick and what makes ads actually work. Andrew is a senior vice president at System 1. He is a respected drum columnist, a top voice on LinkedIn, and an advisor to the world's top brands and a valued thought leader. Andrew, you are so welcome.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. Yes.
And we also have a very impressive brand leader, Amanda Schultz. Amanda leads Epidemic Sound Marketing out of New York City. Amanda's work is always ahead of the curve, whether it's making AI work for her or jumping on board with the latest betas. Amanda gets results that prove those smarts. So thank you, Amanda, for joining us too.
Thank you.
Okay, let's jump into this. We are talking search. Seriously, there has never been a more exciting time for search. We are in an era when you can ask search literally anything, and we are living this. And the biggest recent shift is generative AI coming directly into search and bringing with it a whole new level of intelligence. AI is essentially giving search new superpowers. And there are 5 trillion searches on Google annually, which is pretty staggering. But we can break that down even more because AI Overviews is already helping over 2 billion users every single month. And there are 25 billion lens searches a month, showing us that the way people are searching is changing, and it is changing faster than ever. So let's take a look at some of this in action from Gaurav on the main stage at DeMexico.
This is the most exciting time in the history of search. AI is giving search superpowers, and people are loving what they can do with it. Take Google Lens, for example. Now, I've been trying to stay fit, but with kids at home and travel for work, it's not easy to find time. You know that feeling, right? One of the tricks I use is going for an early morning jog, especially when I'm on the road. It clears my head, keeps me moving, and it's a nice way to see a new city. So just the other day, I left the hotel and I saw another runner lacing up to a cool new trainers. I had never seen those before, and I didn't know what the brand was. So I had a chat, snapped a picture, and within seconds, I knew the brand, the model, and exactly where to find them. Or take a look at Circle to Search, another visual innovation. It allows people to tap, circle, and gesture directly from their screens to find what they're looking for, and without having to switch apps. Younger users who try Circle to Search use it for almost 10% of their searches. So while they're scrolling and streaming, when they see something they like, a quick swipe might mean they could be searching and shopping seamlessly. Now, let's talk about AI mode. AI mode allows people to go even deeper and ask follow-up questions. It uses Google's most advanced reasoning, multimodal capabilities, and you can have a back and forth conversation with search to get help with your toughest questions. AI mode isn't just retrieving information, it is bringing a whole new level of intelligence to search, and it's getting more personalized and agentic. So what does this mean for your ads? With AI-powered campaigns, we can expand your keywords and improve your reach and revenue. We can build personalized creatives that can scale like never before. And we can be smarter about bidding and driving value for your businesses. So, to put it simply, to win in this era of search, you need AI-powered ads. Think of AI Max as a one-click power-up, the best way to get your ads to show up in AI overviews and soon in AI mode as well. It finds you new customers by understanding what they mean, not just what they say. And then you can customize your ad and the landing page to show the perfect ad at exactly the right moment.
So what we're seeing from Gaurav, I think, is that we are moving beyond simply understanding what a consumer or a user is looking to understand or looking for, but rather why. Understanding the why behind their question. And the why is important because the why gives us even richer intent signals, right? But we're not here to talk about what I see. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from this panel. So Amanda, look, you are really ahead of the game when it comes to search and AI through your Mark stack. So what has been the biggest change for you, do you think?
I think like the biggest game changer for us has definitely been how AI has powered broad match in search. So basically going for having to have control all over our keywords, rather focusing on the data input we give to the algorithms and letting the algorithm work and find the queries for us. We have a way broader reach than we had years ago. And so it's really cool to see how we can catch the intent from long tail search queries, as well as the direct ones that are lower down the funnel that we still manage to capture. So it's really cool to see how that has like expanded the area for us.
And so seeing how that algorithm is being fed with the right data.
Exactly,
is really interesting. Andrew, what are you thinking?
I'm seeing how marketers are interacting with this from a strategic point of view, where I think there's a lot of misconceptions that this new kind of technology means that people have to be spending more and more on performance, but actually a lot of marketers are realizing that we need to be using it for broader reach, building awareness, meeting new customers. We also see, I see people being a bit worried that they're not all the way there yet, that they're not perfect at it.
Okay.
And that's a massive misconception. I think everyone's learning, every category is different, every brand is different, and it almost makes just reassuringly makes just proper marketing more important. Understanding how marketing drives our business growth, understanding what we should be tracking and our strategy behind that, and then experimenting with search to look at how do we actually drive that value through the different activities and trying new things.
Is there like one playbook for this?
Well, no. As I said, it's different for each brand size and different category, right? Consumer behavior is different depending on what you're buying and where you're buying it, and that's why experimentation is so important.
So you're both saying search is definitely changing, right? And what I'm hearing is its capability is getting bigger. So it's not just about capturing demand at the bottom of the funnel, inverted commas, the funnel, but actually it's also helping us to do new things, kind of upper funnel. So we're definitely doing new things and we need to experiment. Talk to us a little bit more about experimentation. Like when you think about it, what's exciting to you about experimentation?
Yeah. Well, I think before we jump into kind of experimentation, I think it's important to ensure we're getting the basics right.
Okay.
With stuff like circle to search and image search, everything's becoming shoppable.
True.
So it's rewarding the marketers that have just good content hygiene, that everything is now shoppable. If a creator is holding your pack, it is shoppable. It needs to be able to be found. And then in terms of experimentation, I think the best marketers that I see taking the best approach would be following what I kind of call the 70-20-10 rule, and where we should be putting 70% of our resource and our energy into proven growth drivers, stuff that marketing keeps returning business growth. We should be putting 20% of our resource and time and cash into new things that we can experiment with and then bring into that 70%, the future kind of proven growth drivers, and then 10% on mad stuff that just keeps everyone interested. I think AI search now definitely sits in that 20% space of, and we should be trialing that new stuff and understanding how it can guarantee repeatable business growth.
I love that framing, 70-20-10, particularly the mad stuff. Maybe we'll have a different conversation on the mad stuff. Okay, Amanda, what are the other misconceptions, or how are you thinking about the misconceptions in search right now?
I think that one big misconception today within marketing in general is that there is this big leap that you need to take this step into AI and it's going to like change everything over a week and then you're going to have this new world that you're living in. That's not really the way it works, and I think you need to train your brain into more working in small iterations, small steps, trying things out. There's a lot of different products out there, and I think trying them out, seeing what works for you. How are the customers actually using these products and how do you fit into that? So it's really about taking the small steps forward and measuring the impact.
You're both really on this point, right? Do the basics, do them well, take the step forward, but take it one step at a time, right? We're not saying 100% shift 70, 20, 10. Okay,
Exactly.
Okay, I'm getting that loud and clear. Amanda, I also want to talk to you about targeting, right, in audiences, because you have this really interesting vantage point. You're across all of these markets, and there seems to be still so much focus on demographics. And yet, with Google's intent signals, like we see far beyond that, right? How does that apply in practice for you?
Yeah, no, I think it's a very old school way of looking at it in demographics. Like you see this box, like you want to box people in, and like this is who I'm targeting, this age group, or whatever it is. You need to start looking more about what's the intent and like what do people actually want? What are people's like values? What are people's needs? Age really doesn't matter then. Like a 25-year-old can have the same desire to have a product as a 50-year-old, and it's like really relevant to just use that as assumptions. And I think, start looking like feeding the algorithm with the correct data that you know about your customers, and then getting back by basically feeding the algorithm with the right things.
This is really reassuring. So, again, marketing has not changed in the past 5 decades. We've just got new tools. It was always a massive red flag when you'd ever be working with a marketing team and they had Gen Z in their marketing strategy or their segmentation. We've always known that it's about behavioral segmentation and how people behave, not their age demographics, for example. But now we can really use that to drive action instead.
I love that. We're in a really sophisticated place now, aren't we? Okay, Nihal, what are you hearing from the chat?
Oh, this is the absolute beauty of doing this live.
It is.
I'm seeing the percentages change. I'm seeing the amount of responses coming in change. It's brilliant. So the search poll question was this: which new ways to search will provide the greatest commercial opportunity to you in the future? A, Circle to Search. B, AI overviews. C, Google Lens. D, AI mode. Andrew, what would you say?
I will go with Circle to Search, Nihal.
Circle to Search, Amanda?
I would have the same thing.
Yeah?
Circle to Search.
Only because I
Sarah,
love using it.
You got a view on this, Sarah?
I would have gone AI overviews or Circle to Search. I can't choose. I can't choose.
AI overviews
Yes.
takes it. 43%. We've had over 170 responses, bang, 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 in the
amazing.
poll. And AI overviews came in on top at 43%. And AI mode not far behind at 36%. Does that surprise you too? Because Sarah nailed it.
Yeah, possibly. Although I didn't get the answer, I don't think it does surprise me because we are seeing now with AI recommendations like that, where we're getting almost like the intent signals, where you actually get to that recommendation point. It's a much closer point to the behavior change, whereas previously it was pages and pages of links. And I think that makes actually marketing a little bit more important in the sense that we need to be driving more behavior change before people start searching and driving intent. It almost makes brand building and more broad reach, like unskippable YouTube and stuff like this, more and more important. So possibly not that surprising.
No, it's amazing. Okay, I love that framing. You're absolutely right. Thanks, Nihal. I love that. Okay, so I think the key here, for me anyway, is that there are new ways to search, and search is giving us richer signals of context and richer signals of intent, right? And we're already seeing extraordinary examples out there, examples of how market leaders are making this work for them already, which is why we are really excited to announce the Google Ads Impact Awards. Nihal, tell us more.
Oh, I am literally standing on ceremony now for this. It's so important. Something really exciting. Throughout today's show, we will be revealing the winners of this year's Google Ads Impact Awards. In the past, these awards have only celebrated agencies, but for the first time ever, they now also celebrate individual marketers. Now, this year, out of thousands of nominations, we're recognising 5 outstanding marketers across 5 distinct categories. Now, they are AI excellence, international growth, media achievement, creative impact, and data innovation. So let's get started with our first award, which is for AI excellence. The individual recipient of the AI Excellence Award is someone who leveraged AI across every aspect of their marketing strategy. So that's insights, personalization, and very importantly, campaign execution. So the individual winner is, feel the tension build here, Matas Baldrenas from IP Royal. Congratulations to you, Matas. Yes. We've just made Matas this morning. And now let's celebrate the award for international growth. The individual winner has shown exceptional vision in expanding a business from local to global. The individual winner for international growth is Gonzalo Lahera from Selectra. Well done, Gonzalo, to you. Yes, and we'll be announcing more winners later. But for now, Sarah, back to you.
Congratulations to Matas and Gonzalo. This is pretty cool doing this live.
Love it.
That is a big morning for you both. Congratulations. Okay, it is time to talk about my favorite topic. We're going to talk creative. Okay, so for decades, creating truly cinematic video ads really was the privilege of brands with the biggest budgets, right? That's fair to say. But that's no longer the case. So this year we announced at Made on YouTube that we're giving our creators new Gen AI tools like VO3 to really push the boundaries of storytelling. And that same foundational AI is actually available to your teams right now to create high impact ads on the world's #1 stage for creators, bar none, YouTube. Let's take a look at what you can actually make right now on this new creative canvas. So cinematic, so beautiful, and so human, and all created using Google's AI products, not a single camera, actor, or location involved in that. That was actually an extract from a much longer spot by Moncler, who worked with the amazing RGA team and our Google team in America. And they brought together the power of VO2, so not even the latest model, Imagen and Gemini earlier this year. And it's quite staggering to think that even since that was made earlier this summer, we've progressed even further and there are even more advanced tools available. So in my day, that would have taken 6 months, possibly $1 million, $2 million, and an awful lot of people. So growing up in the creative industry, this is just mind-blowing to me, where we are at and what we can do now. So Andrew, what are you seeing in the industry around VO3 and creative?
So this is probably my favourite topic. So what we saw there from Moncler is a huge kind of premium execution, classic brand building, long form, emotional, human storytelling that was previously, would have taken, as you said, a load of cash and a load of time and a huge team, and they've managed to execute that in a few weeks. So I think
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks from beginning to end.
So I think what we're seeing is almost a leveling of the playing field, where these tools now are available to more people, and it's allowing us to execute at higher quality in an impressive way that can build brand building in a human way. But we also saw this from Coca-Cola, right, at Christmas, where Coca-Cola redid their famous Coke truck Christmas ad with AI, and I researched it quite a bit with our tools at System One, and consumers couldn't even tell, or they didn't even care that it was AI. It was still really emotional. And I think that speaks to how we should be using these tools. It takes two to tango. So yeah, we've got the AI that can execute and generate video like this, like Veo 3, but we still need that human element, that strategy, that marketing knowledge behind it to execute, distinctive ideas that are emotional and are trained well enough to kind of hold on to them and do them consistently over time. So then we've got this kind of big premium brand building long form piece at the top that we've just seen. But then at the bottom, what we're also seeing with AI now is agencies like Jellyfish working with Pencil that can take a few digital assets and turn them into thousands of iterations to do performance like we've never even thought possible before, and really capture a lot of that demand at the bottom. So it really is impacting the full funnel.
Yeah, and I also think it's about like the bottleneck that content creation has been. I think this is totally releasing that bottleneck. And it's very much like if you've had a big production, you put a lot of money, you put a lot of effort, you put a lot of time, and then you realize in the very end, like, oh, I would like to tweak this part, or oh, we would like to test this in our ads, or whatever you would like to tweak in the end has been very difficult before. And this is allowing us now for creating multiple tests and understanding like what type of content works for us. So with the same content piece, tweaks and changes to understand like what works better. I think that's very, very cool.
That is such an interesting angle, right? So far, Andrew, you're talking about, the democratization basically of creative, which is amazing. And Amanda, you're right, that releases a bottleneck, right? Content is no longer the barrier, right, to building a brand, along with cost or time, like all of that's now available to you. And you have this ability, to use these AI tools like Veo 3, like Imagen, they're kind of like creative clay, right? You still need human creative geniuses and good marketing strategy, but you need but you have this creative clay, this tool that is super powerful. So you get to create more quality than you've possibly ever been able to create, and like unleash your imagination.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in the way that I guess once upon a time we used to have silent movies, and here we are. But you also then have this ridiculous scale at your fingertips, and this ability to scale content and adapt and iterate for multiple platforms and channels. But then your point, Amanda, on top of that, like which I hadn't really thought of, we should dig into, is then the testing ability. Yes. So let's go back to the incrementality point. And what you're kind of highlighting here is, I guess now we can test creative mid-flight, which is again a total game changer.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. Like you can tweak things to understand, and when you then understand what doesn't work and what does work, to just change those things with the same content piece. So you don't have to redo a full production and be like, these are the learnings we had from that one. We can actually, like in the middle of everything, tweak those things to the learnings and to use the learnings immediately. The feedback loop is incredible.
It's just amazing. Okay, I can feel our excitement. Nihal, is it just us, or what are people saying at home online?
Listen, people are just as excited as Andrew is about video. Trust me on this one. And I keep seeing it in real time. That's a challenge we've laid down to you watching Leaders Brief right now. So what video innovation is most applicable to your work? A, lightning execution lift. B, personalization at scale. C, Veo 3. Directly in YouTube. D, optimizing creative mid-flow. It would be remiss of me if I didn't ask Andrew what he thought would be the most. But of course, as you've said already, it's dependent on what the brand is and what the business is.
You're learning quick.
I am. I picked this up quickly.
Get this man a marketing job quickly.
Well, what would you say?
Well, I always lean more towards the value of this, allowing humans to, human creativity, making it more storytelling, more human.
Is that personalisation at scale, essentially?
No, almost the opposite. Being able to execute in such a way that brings ideas to life in a big, emotional, powerful way.
Well,
possibly it being plugged into YouTube, so you can do that.
Veo 3 in YouTube.
Yeah.
So what the people are saying here, watching Leaders Brief, and thank you so much for getting involved in this poll, because, like I say, the numbers keep changing. But it's coming as personalisation at scale at 36%. Just just behind that on 35% is VO3 directly in YouTube. So there you go.
God, which is actually telling us they're interested in all the capability, which is
Well,
great.
exactly
Okay,
right. Very, very close.
Nihal, have you more astounding things to tell us about? What's going on with the awards?
Oh, he's back with his awards. I will promise never to sing again. Time to reveal the next two Google Ad Impact Awards 2025 winners. Starting with the award for media achievement. Now, this award honours those achieving industry-leading results by delivering personalised ads to the right customer at exactly the right time. The individual winner for media achievement is Ksenia Doroshuk from Kyivstar. Let's go! Love that. Now on to creative impact. This award recognises those who are creating bold, engaging campaigns. Now that's ads that deliver powerful, relevant messages and truly connect with their audiences. And the individual winner for creative impact is, deep breath everyone, Victor Rivière from Quibers in France. Woo! Victor, who wins the best hair today by, wow, Victor, I want your hair. Maybe I can get AI to do that for me. Well done to you both. Sarah, back to you.
Congratulations. Amazing, all of our winners from thousands. This is amazing. I hope you guys are partying now or getting ready to party for the rest of today. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in a pretty rapid space of time. So we've talked search, we've talked creative. So let's say that you are on board and you're already using everything AI and you're at the forefront of advertising's cutting edge when it comes to search and creative. What else is fundamental for driving growth in the age of AI? It's measurement, right? Measurement is your competitive advantage. Now, I find this staggering, not in a good way, that only 44% of senior marketing analytics leaders are using marketing mix modeling, attribution solutions, and incrementality altogether. And I find that surprising, honestly, because we want that number to be 100%, because that's how you win the game of measurement. It's using those three disciplines or those tools of measurement all together. That's the foundation of measurement. And at the very root, the base foundation for measurement is data. But I guess data can feel complicated, right? When you start to think about how you connect it all together, it can feel pretty complicated. So how can we help, right? I think personally there are two products that you should have on your radar right now from Google. One of them is called Data Manager, and that allows you to basically connect all of your first-party data from your web, your CRM, from your apps, from everywhere. And the second is Google Tag Gateway, which lets you organize all your tags across your website really easily. And I think this warrants a closer look. So let's listen to one of the biggest thought leaders and experts in this space on Google Tag Gateway. Let's listen to Simo Ahava.
First party has become an almost magical term in the world of marketing technologies. In the context of tagging, first party means the unification of the data that flows from the customers visiting your website to your marketing partners. The difficulty of first party tagging has always been in setting it up. Previously, to enable it required changes to the website architecture, moving to server-side collection, reconfiguring DNS records, and just some pretty specialized knowledge about internet architecture in general. That's why I'm so excited that we now have Google Tag Gateway. If you're invested in Google's marketing stack, then you can switch to a durable, secure, and robust first-party infrastructure with almost a click of a button. Google Tag Gateway lets you maximize the quantity and quality of data collected for Google's marketing technologies, and it introduces plenty of benefits for safeguarding security and privacy for your customer data too. Google Tag Gateway isn't something you want to miss out on. If you want to secure the advertising and analytics data for Google services, enabling Google Tag Gateway is almost a no-brainer.
Thanks, Simo. Amazing. Okay, Google Tag Gateway. The team just shared something with me, and I think it's pretty astounding. Advertisers who configure the gateway observe on average 14% more signals, which is basically 14% more intelligence for our AI to work with. And I think in a world of performance and fine margins, 14% is not to be sniffed at. So do take a look at this. So Simo said, we've made this a simple one-click process, a literal one-click process. So do let AI do this work for you, okay? Unlock more signals by upgrading to Google Tag Gateway. Okay, clearly I'm a measurement nerd. I love this stuff. I love it because I know the difference that it can make. I know how it can make your advertising work better for you. But sound off in the comments. Let us know what you were thinking about this as I come to the sofa again. Andrew, can we call you something of an effectiveness legend?
You can try.
Okay, let's go with this. So as an effectiveness legend, we'll see if this sticks. What is your biggest advice to everyone at home?
Well, look, in my research, combining the FE Global Case Library with kind of System1's creative data, we can see something troubling over the past kind of decade where the previously short list of short-term metrics and outcomes to be tracking is now quite a long list, which means that our strategy and our thinking is getting more and more diffuse, which is a very bad thing. We really need to start thinking about what one or two key metrics are going to shift your business results versus just tracking and trying to improve everything. And also, you know, a top tip would be, what is the time frame and the significant shift you need to see within those metrics? Otherwise, you know, you could be on a daily treadmill of trying to understand and shift every little piece. Then you also mentioned incrementality as well. What you also find with marketers is that they like to shout about how they spent, you know, £500,000 and generated £500,000 revenue, which means they made no profit, and those marketers should have stayed in bed. And what we should be pushing for is incremental profit. So actually, what strategies, tools, campaigns, what execution is actually generating more revenue than if we previously weren't doing anything. So again, I think it gets back to experimenting and finding what metrics actually shift that incremental profit, which is crucial.
That uplift, I suppose when we talk about incrementality, it's really what's driving the uplift and profit. I'd say maybe like profitable growth. Like what we really want here is like durable, profitable growth.
True, over many years as well.
Many years.
Yeah, it's very easy to
last.
make profit that week, but how we're going to actually keep making profit over years is crucial.
And that builds over time. Amanda, you are so far ahead of the curve on this, right? So I really want to come to you, but I think you also have this amazing way of making things feel simple. Do you agree? Like Andrew's kind of touched on this importance of a clear goal.
I 100% agree with that. I think like having a clear goal, a clear objective across the team, like everyone working on this, we need to have the same aim, and then taking it small steps from there. It's kind of like you wouldn't say, okay, if my goal is to run a marathon, it's not like in 2 weeks I'm running the marathon. I have the tools, I have my shoes, I have my clothes and everything, and I figure out what works for me to get to that goal. And some things will fail, some things will work, and that's where the measurement comes in. So the measurement comes in to take you to that grander scheme goal. So I think it's really about that, like keep revisiting the main goal, make sure everyone is aligned on that, and then measuring the impacts along the way.
I love that. Okay, Nihal, what are we seeing in the chat online on this meaty topic?
Sarah, measurement poll. Is your measurement A, focused, you know what your most important number is, B, overwhelming, too many metrics, or C, work in progress, improvement each day? I think it's quite heartening actually to say that it's C with 46%, which is work in progress, improvement.
Oh, that's good.
Improvement
Okay.
That's
each day.
reassuring, hey?
And also, it's really nice to see the winner of the Creative Impact Award, Victor Riviere, is in the chat.
Nice.
A lovely way to find out. It's a great achievement. So, formidable, Victor.
Formidable indeed. That is awesome. I'm really encouraged by that. Okay, we're on the road, is what I'm hearing. So look, measurement, like search, like creative, really has been given new superpowers too by AI. And I think it relies heavily on one core principle, which is the quality of your input, right? Quality in equals quality out, and clear focus on what matters and what matters most, okay? And so knowing what matters depends on, I think, Amanda, as you've so nicely put it, tiny habits, you know, and it's little discipline, being a really strategic marketer and having clear goals, as you said, Andrew. But I think I want to add a third thing, which is the need to build a culture of curiosity, right? And as I say that, I think the leaders on, you know, with us here this morning all need to think about measurement not as a proof point, but more as information that sort of helps you guide the team forward, right? So what do I mean by that? Don't ask, has it worked? Ask, how did it work? And why did it work? Or in fact, why did it not work? Because sometimes that's the more important piece of information, or the most important piece of information that we learn from.
Definitely.
That we go on to iterate. Michal, tell us, I'd really love to know, how are the best in the field doing on this?
Well, look, firstly, a little apology for us slightly running over time, but I think you'd agree that our three thought leaders, the three of you are gurus, I feel, in the presence of Jedis of marketing. Yes, it's time for one more celebration in the Google Ads Impact Awards. Last but not least, because it's a big one, it's the Data Innovation Award. Now, this category celebrates marketers at the forefront of data-driven decision making. The individual winner for data innovation is, come on, let's get a drum roll, everyone, let's get a drum roll. It is Karen Clemens Sorensen from Pandora AX. Woo! To all our 5 winners today. We absolutely loved seeing all of the entries, thousands of them, as Sarah said earlier on, from marketers this year, and we can't wait to do it all again next year. You can explore all of the winners and their incredible work on Accelerate with Google.
And that is a wrap. For everyone watching at home, you are not done quite yet. I show up here in my socials with my teams, in my customer meetings, because I really do believe that we can shape this industry for the best. So please go into the form in the comments, sign up for future smaller discussion groups, share feedback on how the show was for you today, and tell us, what would you like to see more of in the future? Join me in stepping up and in to shape this industry, our careers, our work in this huge moment of change and this huge moment of opportunity.
And talking of opportunity, if you want to see what's next when it comes to AI, this is your personal invitation to a really exciting event taking place next week. Join us virtually on October the 9th for the Google Ads Demo Slam 2025, where we'll unveil brand new Google Ads and YouTube betas, all powered by AI. Now, this isn't just a preview. It's your chance to get hands-on with the tools that will redefine how you work. All you have to do is scan the QR code on screen or use the short link in the chat box to secure your spot today. Have you secured your spot?
I'm going to, momentarily. Okay, that is all we have time for, I'm sorry to say. To my guests, Andrew and Amanda, thank you for sharing your insights and your secret sauce. And thank you for joining us and for getting involved as you did.
And we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
We will.